Welcome back, everyone. My name is Angie, and I'm the Soul Alignment Mentor, helping to connect you with your most authentic and highest self. And also, Happy New Year! I hope that your first couple of days of 2024 are starting out positive. If not, then hopefully that can change for you as we move forward in the days ahead. I wanted to share a little bit about setting goals for this coming year. I know this time of year, people are creating goals, they're coming up with their yearly word or an affirmation, they're creating a vision board, they're thinking about things they want to pursue or create or achieve. And these are all wonderful things to do. But I want to teach and bring a little bit of a balance into this achieving and desire that you might have in this coming year. I want to pull a couple lessons from different things that my spirit team has taught me over the years. And the first lesson is keeping the energy of love as the main goal in the pursuit of anything that you do. Sometimes, especially in the Western culture, and this can be likely anywhere around the world, no matter where you are, we like to set a goal and then look at the end result as where we want to be. And so we strive and we pursue and we work hard, and then we get to the end result and we may not be fully satisfied. We may get there and think, well, I don't feel the way that I thought I would feel when I accomplished this goal. And I'm thinking about a couple of things in my life that I've accomplished. And because I was so focused on pursuing the goal and not the process of becoming and aligning with the energy of love in the goal, I got to the end result and I realized I don't feel any different than when I achieved it. And so, Spirit has been teaching me over the last several years that when you are working on something, to remember why you're doing it and that you are actually a spirit manifesting into a human body in a human life, and that the reason your spirit is here on earth is to grow in the energy of love and is to understand itself in a new capacity and to raise its vibration as a spirit. Now, I like to kind of compare this process. I really enjoy being in nature. I really like hiking. I am I like to be athletic. I like to be outdoors. But I used to, before I started really aligning with this energy of love and healing and allowing my intuition and my feminine energy to come back in and balance out my masculine energy where I wasn't striving so much. I spent a lot of time working on myself, and the things I did as far as like going to the gym or being athletic were all an attempt to almost punish my body and change it into something else. When I released the idea that I had to change and I just enjoyed the process, I began to find things that I found fun. And that's when I began to hike. That's when I began to bike. That's when I began to do things that I enjoyed doing to move my body. And so the end result is still to be healthy, it's still to lose weight, it's still to have those. But in the pursuit of that, I am enjoying the process. I'm not forcing myself to do things. I'm not doing things I don't enjoy. I am creating a enjoyable life by adding in love to what I do. And in that love creates the joy because I am aligning with my spirit, with my highest self when I'm doing an activity. So take some time to evaluate. You might have these kind of goals of like weight loss or eating healthy. What can you add in that would keep you in joy? Because if we don't enjoy something, we will not continue to pursue it. So find a way to add joy into the things that you pursue. And so, like, for example, when I go for a hike out in the beautiful forest somewhere, I don't just think about where I'm going to end up when I'm at the end of the hike. I take time to see everything. I take time to see the rocks around me, the trees, the birds, the other animals that might show up. And I enjoy the process of getting to where I'm going. And so, if there's other things in your life, think about that and add in little parts where you can stop, reflect, and be thankful for the steps that you are taking. Another example I will give you is I am an author. I have two books I have written. I wrote two books in 1 year. And I mean, you can imagine that took a lot of focus, it took a lot of work. And I was actually very surprised at myself that I was able to accomplish those goals. But when my spirit knew it was time to produce these books and to put them into um, formation and create them, I just worked and worked and worked, and I didn't stop to pause to be thankful for the process of it. And so when I finished the book, I was exhausted, and then I just sent it out, and I really didn't share it with the world the way that I could have had I allowed myself to have joy in the process of creating it. So even if it's something that you see as very successful or something that you're able to achieve that the standards of the world may see as this really big pursuit and this goal that you can achieve, even when you get to the end of it, you still have to remember that the process of getting there is just as important as the final project, as a final pursuit and the manifestation of what you are seeking. And I also want to share a story that I wrote in my first book. If you are interested, it's called Leaf Lessons. If you are watching this at all, I will show you a picture of this. It's called Leaf Lessons: When Trauma and Religion Collide, the Process of Spiritual Awakening and Healing. In the fifth chapter of this book, I write about a vision that I had in 2004, and it was about a leaf. So this chapter is called The Leaf Lesson, Leaving the Line. And I want to share the vision of the leaf that I had because I think this might also help you in creating your vision board, creating your goals for this coming year, and understanding how to allow yourself to trust the process and release the struggle of trying to force things to work out for you. In my vision in 2004, I was in my early 20s at the time. I saw a very, for some reason, I astro projected into the universe. I was with the stars and the planets. I was looking down from what we would call God's view. And as I saw this from this view, I saw a old or like a dead leaf, which would in anywhere you go where there's leaves like the wintertime and the fall, they become brown, they become crusty, they fall off the tree, and then they're composted back into the earth. But I saw this dead brown leaf floating through the air, and it floated down and landed in this stream. And the stream was absolutely gorgeous. You could see the bottom of the stream. It was a natural stream. It had almost like crystals at the bottom of it. Beautiful trees lined this river. And the leaves started to flow down this river, just naturally going with the flow. And then once in a while, there were some larger gray rocks that the leaf would get stuck behind. And as I saw this leaf get stuck behind the very first rock, I noticed that it was struggling. It wanted to get out of the rock. It was fighting against a rock. It was beating up against a rock. It was striving. It was trying to control. It was almost panicking that it couldn't get around this rock. And from my perspective, from a higher perspective, I could look down and I could see that if this leaf would let go of the struggle, lay back down into the water, trust the water to guide it, that it would move around this rock freely and that it would just be picked up and taken on its journey. And so I watched this leaf do this a couple times where it gets stuck behind a rock. Then it would finally be like, oh, I have to relax and just trust. And it would move around the rock. And what was really amazing about this process is that each time it let go of the struggle behind a rock and it moved around it, this leaf began to come back to life. The leaf turned from red to orange to yellow, and eventually, at the end of the stream, completely green and back to life. And in this vision I had, I heard Spirit say to me, "This is you." This is what your life is like. And this is what I'm saying to you as well, because it's not just about me. This is about our lives. It's about trusting the flow and the guidance of our higher self, of our spirit, of that perspective that can see things from a different lens. And so when we let go of the pursuit and struggle to achieve and strive and force and control, and we do what we can, we put in the effort that we can without the striving, without the controlling, and we balance out our masculine and our feminine energy where we pursue things in both trusting our intuition and trusting the guidance of the spirit and doing the small actions we can to achieve our goal. Then we balance things out, we rest back into that stream of life that we are all on, and we move through these obstacles that come through and try to block us in our lives. But I also want you to realize that the obstacles and the rocks that we come up against are actually there as lessons. They're there to teach us how to trust. They're there to teach us how to relax and to understand that we can hear from our spirit. We can hear that our higher self will guide us correctly. We just have to trust that process. So, if you want to learn a little bit more about this, one, I encourage you to get my book, Leaf Lessons. And while you're in there, you can go ahead and grab Composting the Ego, which is my second book. But also go over to my website, angieharris.org, and I have a blog on my website. And you can scroll down and you will find some blog posts about this that will help you to align your life with your intuition, your higher self, and to manifest the life that you truly desire. I'm also offering discounted 45-minute readings. If you would like to book a session with me, we can dive into your energy to see what it is, what your rock is in your life at this time that you might be fighting against, so you can achieve your goals this coming year. So come over and set up an appointment with me. We can meet one-on-one, we can talk about this. And I just want to encourage you to remember that you are worthy, you are loved, and I really, truly do wish you the best year ahead. So create your vision boards, create your goals, but remember to stay in the energy of love as you do it. All right. Thank you all. And I will see you all next week. Have a lovely day.